Okay, welcome back to Kipper and Bits. My name's Kipper, and we're here today to talk about the Nintendo Direct upcoming. We're speculating over the Nintendo Direct. Since it was postponed from last week, potentially to this Thursday, and as this goes up on YouTube, it might be Wednesday, it might be Thursday morning. Certainly, I will try to get it uploaded on YouTube beforehand. But hey, I'm joined with one of my pals. This is Lucas, everybody. He is.
Hi, everybody.
He's going to be appearing on some playthroughs soon, hopefully. But for today, we're here to discuss Nintendo and Smash, possibly, and gaming and stuff in general that's gone on for the last week since they postponed the Direct. So I guess we can talk about stuff that happened that was announced during this last week first, because I feel like some of that possibly could have been Direct reveals that just kind of got put off because these third-party companies were like, yo, we don't work on your time, we got to get this information out.
There's a particular piece that excites me greatly, but we can put that off until we get there.
Yes. So the first thing that I remember going up the day of the Direct, the day that the Direct was supposed to happen, was they talked about they put a Mega Man 11 demo on the Switch. And possibly all the other consoles. Right. I do not know if it's on other consoles, but I know it's at least on the Switch. As of last Thursday, they put that demo on there live, and it went live in the afternoon. There was some drama about that this week because apparently when you jump through yeah, exactly.
Yes, you jumping through the gate does not behave properly.
Or does not.
Damn it!
I know. It's just that's all people needed was to be upset about something for this new Mega Man game. Soon enough, we're gonna be like, man, you know what? Mighty Number 9 wasn't really all that bad.
Okay, no one's gonna say that. Not a single person is going to say that Mighty Number 9 was acceptable.
If any of those people were to go back and play Mighty Gunvolt Burst, I think they would appreciate Mighty Number 9 a little bit more, I think.
Well, see, from what I heard is Gunvolt himself was like, that's I don't care so much for Gunvolt, but the other characters that were playable were like, hey, no, that's fucking awesome. This is great.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna go to Nintendo America's Twitter real quick because that will tell me, because they'll have their tweets sorted by day, of course. So let's see here. Let me scroll. Oh, that's awesome. There's a oh no, that's right. Never mind. I was like, oh, there's a Monster Hunter Generations costumes, but I forgot that on the Switch version of that game, any of the previous events for the 3DS were automatically put over to the Switch version. So any event that happened on the 3DS is available to be gotten on the Switch.
Oh wow, I didn't notice. I never knew about the Phoenix Wright Palico. Holy shit.
Yeah, and there's a little Dante one. Oh yes, that's the other thing. Okay, so September 6th they delay the Direct. And then the same day, Devolver Digital puts up that Broforce is getting a Switch port.
Which was probably an announcement that was going to be made.
Possibly, yes. Which, I mean, that game already existed, and I'm gonna wait if that comes out on physical, maybe, because I think I would like to have that physically.
I could see that.
Devolver is really leaning into those America fuck yeah types of video games lately.
Yeah, with Metal Wolf Chaos, certainly. I don't think it gets more America fuck yeah than that.
And then it looks
Richard Hawk.
It looks like on September 6th also they may have done a Pokemon Let's Go trailer, but I have more to say about that in a bit too. And then the Mega Man 11 demo. Oh, and then the other thing they had was the day after the Direct, they had a trailer for Yokai Watch Blasters, which is the newest Yokai Watch game for 3DS, and I'm sure there's a bunch of kids who care about that. And some people who are
wildly familiar with Yokai Watch myself, so
I love the design of Jibanyan, and I love how many creatures in that game have Nyan in their name because they're all cats. But that's about it.
You lost me at Jibanyan.
Yeah.
That's gone from there.
Well, it's the red
Step
cat.
one failed.
It's the red cat that's like associated with Yokai Watch. Like it's the red cat. It's basically the Yokai Watch mascot. It's
okay.
Like
I think
Pikachu.
I know which one you're talking about.
And then of course, I want to say like, so they had the Broforce announcement, and then the other day there was a new trailer for Pokemon Let's Go, including a new Switch bundle for 399 smackaroonies.
I remember you mentioned that to me earlier at work.
Yeah, and it is a Switch bundle that's got Pikachu and Eevee engraved all on the back of the console. It's really cute. It's got like a brown Joy-Con and a gold Joy-Con for Eevee and Pikachu respectively. And also comes with that Pokeball Plus controller and your choice of either game for $400, which is not a terrible deal. I never saw if it also came with 1-2 Switch. It better, personally.
I hope so. Well, Nintendo's always been pretty good about bundling stuff, so...
Yeah, well, the thing is they have this Mario Tennis Aces bundle that's coming out this holiday season, I think exclusively to Walmart, that is going to be, it's Mario Tennis Aces and also 1-2 Switch bundled for $360. So basically, like, you're getting 1-2 Switch for free.
Okay.
Because that's a $50 MSRP game somehow.
Really?
Oh my, yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as party games go, I see that one being like a necessary one almost.
And that's the thing is like, so I got my Switch on launch day, and I put the money out for 1-2 Switch. I dropped since I had Best Buy Gamers Club and maybe some gift cards to spend at Best Buy. I think I only had to spend like $20 at Best Buy for it, but I still feel like in the end that game should just be a pack in from here on out. Like I appreciate what a good tech demo that was for the Switch, but it just I just like it is like Wii Sports had more depth to it than 1-2 Switch did.
That seems perfectly cool.
Like, and I almost kind of hope that they do another Wii Sports, almost, except just like a Switch thing that includes some of the more like gimmicky stuff for the Switch as a pack.
See, I'm not sure how much I would care for. We got Wii Sports. I would like to see more expansion on 1-2 Switch, because it's important for the branding, I feel. And then even beyond that, like it seems like the natural progression where you have the first entry of Wii Sports or 1-2 Switch, and then you have the second entry, which is we're expanding upon this with whatever other peripherals we might have added in there as far as Wii Motion Plus.
I hope I would even accept them just saying, hey, we decided to update 1-2 Switch to add like 25 more party games to it, and
that'd be fine too.
It's just, as it is, it's very bare bones. Like, it gave me a solid afternoon, and the thing is when the Switch was first out and I had to show people what the console could do, it was the best way to show them what it could do and what the Joy-Con could do. But now there's better ways of showing them how it works.
And even beyond that, because I mean, it's a portable console now. It's a matter of I'm going to a family reunion or some holiday. Hey, it's Easter and I've got all my little cousins nearby, and this is something we can all do together and have fun as a family.
You are completely. I have done exactly that, although it's kind of hard for my members of my family to get into video games, but that's another conversation.
Right. Yeah, Nintendo's doing wonderful things for accessibility in that regard, but there's only so much you can push.
Yeah. And then the other day, so two other big things, I guess, before we get to the direct speculation, is I also saw the announcement of Lethal League Blaze, which looks dope.
It looks hype as fuck.
Yeah.
You said you didn't play the original Lethal League?
Never did. Never heard of it. I looked it up and I was like, ooh, boy howdy, I can't wait till that comes out for Switch, because
I played it shortly after it came out, for a little while, and that game gets high octane, fast paced, fast, and it's really easy to see how they could add additional modes to it, and the new characters and better graphics look amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see that like they've kind of jumped on Candyman as the front man, because he's excellent.
Well, it's funny too, because there's a lot of people who are commenting on how much like the art style reminds them of Jet Set, because very, very similar cell shaded style.
Right, exactly.
And then the other
getting the Jet Set composer on there as well is stupid fantastic. Like,
okay, so that's who that guy was. He did the composing for Jet Set Radio.
Yes, as I understand it, I know he was associated with Jet Set Radio, and I believe that like he was responsible for the soundtrack entirely.
Okay,
but that's me speaking out my ass. There's nothing. I'm not verifying that with anything at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that's.
I also wonder how many of the developers
because,
from this team specifically may have worked on Jet Set Radio too. That's also entirely possible.
It depends on where they're from. Hold on.
I mean, we don't need to know that for today. It's okay.
It's just something that's going to bother me.
Well, while you're doing that, the other thing that came out the other day was that they're porting Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles as a remaster.
Which is the big news that really, really gets to me.
Yeah. Well, because the thing is you don't really have... So, like, as far as the Nintendo speculation part goes, you might have some things to throw back on my opinions, but you don't really have many opinions on your own, right?
Of the direct and like other stuff that we've mentioned, not so much. No.
Right. So I mean, like that's fine. Like you're kind of coming at this as somebody who does not own a console. You know, granted, right. I feel like there's more than enough games to convince somebody to jump on board.
Oh, I mean, there has been for a while. Team Reptile is from the Netherlands, so I believe be anybody associated with Jet Set Radio. I think it's just kind of like the aesthetic and like emphasis on a good soundtrack and street vibe, as well as like, hey, a bunch of these characters have skates on.
Yeah,
but it's mostly the vibe and soundtrack, and I think that the composer, whose name is escaping me, but who I know is associated, probably saw that and was like, hey, if
get me in on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's apropos of nothing. I could be totally wrong.
Cool. But Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is like a major. It was out of nowhere. Yeah,
it was
complete, because there was nothing that told me that Squeenix was going to do that, of all things.
Especially considering like the technical difficulties that there were, not oh hey, this doesn't work, but oh hey, we need to purchase 4 separate Game Boys and 4 link cables.
Which I totally, just for the record, I have that. Like, I had that as a kid. Because here's the thing. Okay, so I'll tell you. As a kid, so I had 1 Game Boy Advance link cable that we just bought by itself. Okay?
Yeah.
Then I got my second Game Boy Advance link cable when I purchased Pokemon... When my mom purchased Pokemon Bank Ruby and Sapphire, which you could only buy in New York City, by the way, when it came out.
Yeah.
And like, my mom was going to New York City, and I was like, please, you can only get this in New York. I want this so bad. Can you please stop here and get this for me? And she totally did. It was great.
That's pretty excellent.
It was pretty great. Like, that's one of my like few like things that I've collected from my childhood that I'm like, man, I can't believe I have this. The third link cable that I got came with Four Swords Adventures, because that was a bundle. It came with...
That's exactly right, yeah.
The cable and that. And then the fourth one, I want to say there may have been another. I mean, I want to say maybe even Crystal Chronicles may have come with one.
I thought it came bundled with one, but I could be totally wrong there.
I mean, it makes sense that it would, since you needed that for multiplayer.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm sure it did. So that's probably where I got my 4. Is I had already had one because of Pokemon Coliseum, just because we got it to do stuff with Pokemon Coliseum. And then I had gotten the other 3. So, like, as a kid, I was totally capable of doing I think I maybe did that for one sleepover once. And it was the best freaking night ever. When you have 4 people that can do... I mean, like, you can pretty much get through the game with just 2 people. But it's amazing when you get more.
We only had the 2, and we only ever really played it with each other. But
that's a game that really deserves to have a remaster, I think.
It really desperately does, because it's beyond. One of the first things that leaps to mind is I emulated it on my PC once, and I mean, seeing it on a not CRT monitor and like upscaling it the way Dolphin can was like, oh, this game looks like it could have come out like 2 years ago, if that. And that was
for sure.
It's beautiful,
for sure.
It's gorgeous. Art direction's fantastic.
And you know what's funny too is I think they did more Crystal Chronicles games.
They did Crystal Bearers and My Life as a King, was it?
I'm not sure. I think Crystal Bearers was the Wii, right?
Yeah, I never played either of them.
Me neither, because I don't think they worked the same. I don't think they had the same.
They were vastly different, if memory serves.
They may have even been single player experiences without the character choice that
One
you get.
One of them was for sure.
Okay, so moving on from that.
Ring of Fates is what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Ring of Fates, Echoes of Time, and the Crystal Bearers.
Okay.
Okay.
So Direct coming. So it's going to be Nintendo Switch and it's going to be 3DS. And for 3DS, I have no dog in that race anymore. I mean, like,
same.
And see, that's the thing. Is like,
for me.
You know, I bought WarioWare Gold and I enjoyed it, and I do still play my 3DS. Like, it has not, like, I have not retired it. I think it's great that Nintendo's still supporting it. I just, beyond like having a trailer for Luigi's Mansion, because like Yokai Watch Blasters would have been the other thing that I would have said is like, oh, they're probably going to talk about Yokai Watch, you know. I mean, it's possible that they could do another, like, maybe a physical release of like every single Dylan's Rolling Western game all in like one cartridge or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you know, because like those were only physical outside of the US, so those games are not physical cartridges in the United States. They're only PAL and Japanese only. And to date, the only Japanese 3DS game I have is Bye Bye Box Boy, because to get the QB amiibo, you had to like get the package with the 3DS game.
And you're kind of an amiibo fiend, yeah.
Well, I have all of them. In fact,
I know.
All of them, not counting the cards, but those are, I'm okay with not counting the cards. Like with the cards, my goal for the Mario ones is to get all the Mario characters I care about. So naturally, basically just Yoshi and Birdo.
Yeah.
And then like for the Animal Crossing cards, it was just get the villagers that I like. You know, you know, if I don't want a character I don't like, then I'm not going to get a character I don't like.
Yeah, no. That's sensible.
But other than that,
purchasing.
Like, the only other thing they could possibly talk about is if 3DS is going to get some benefits from the online, which I guess is another big thing I think they're going to focus on this Direct.
The online, I think, is the most important aspect of this Direct, of what's going to be upcoming, because it's supposed to launch this month, right?
Yes, it's supposed to launch this month. It was slated for the second half of the month, and I bet you anything it's going to be not this Friday, but next Friday.
Yes, agreed.
And so with that, I guess moving on to Switch, because I don't have it. Like, maybe they'll talk about adding some more eShop things to 3DS. I would love for them to put Game Boy Advance eShop on 3DS, because God,
that would be fantastic. Because there's so many good GBA games that really that I feel really need to be put there.
Well, and
even if they are like GBA versions of SNES or NES games.
Well, like, that's the thing is, like, they do have, like, the 3DS recently, I say recently, I mean, like, within the last year, I believe, added Super Nintendo to its eShop availability, but only on the new 3DSs. But I'm like, okay, we can get Super Nintendo emulation, like, because the Game Boy Advance currently is landlocked on the Wii U. Like, there's Game Boy Advance eShop on the Wii, which you can only get the eShop on the Wii if you already have points. If you don't have points anymore, you are unable to add them. Like, in fact, I actually might need to turn on my old Wii, because I think I actually have like 1,000 points I can spend, and that's like one game.
Get something out of there. Yeah.
But regardless, like, so that's that. And as far as the Game Boy Advance goes, yeah, I mean, even if it was 3DS, I would be pretty content to have some, especially if I can use a save state on some Game Boy Advance games and play them
Man,
I mean, here's the thing, because I have all Amiibo. I also have every Nintendo console ever,
Right.
minus the NES, minus the Virtual Boy. Those are the only two I do not have.
And then minus localization stuff too, as far as Famicom and NES stuff.
Right, yeah. I don't have the foreign I have every American, really, because I also don't have the Game Boy Light, which was a PAL and Japanese thing only. I don't think it ever came out in America. Right. And if it did, then I just missed the small window of it, because as a kid, I mean, Game Boy, the thing is as much as I like to say the N64 and the GameCube and the Wii was my as a childhood consoles, it was the Game Boy. The Game Boy, specifically the Game Boy Advance and the DS. The very early parts of the DS, not the latter half, because the latter half is when I started to fall off. The only reason I actually had a DSi was because when Pokemon Black and White came out, I decided to upgrade, and I got a used one. I didn't even get a new one.
I never touched a DSi. I don't know that I've ever held one in my hands.
They are really sleek, and the pixel compression on them is very beautiful. I like the DSi's appearances.
That's what I hear. They're quite nice.
But yeah, so I hope there's going to be some more Virtual Console on 3DS, maybe talked about. I know Virtual Console as of the Switch is dead because they're tying it to the online, and maybe that's what the 3DSs will be. Maybe it's hey, if you're online and you have a 3DS, I don't know if they're tying the online service to 3DS or just Switch, because I don't know if maybe, and also, that's on me too for not looking it up.
I could see it going either way personally.
I mean, I could easily also just type in Nintendo's website right now and check, but I don't really care.
That's also fair. But as far as me seeing it going either way, whether or not it's going to happen, it could just be something that they haven't even announced or thought of yet, thought to mention yet, because it's still got a substantial reason to be there. Because a parent isn't going to want to hand their kid a $350 Switch.
Right.
To have them drop it from 4 feet where they're trying to show someone.
Yeah.
But a 3DS is, I mean, the damn thing is literally made to be dropped.
Oh yeah.
So, and being able to throw other stuff on
it just reminded me, since we were talking about Game Boy Advance, the other thing they might talk about with the 3DS is maybe some more footage for the upcoming remake of Bowser's Inside Story.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Because they recently remade the original Superstar Saga. They made some choices with it that I don't like. I don't like Nintendo's toad washing that they're doing in their games. Toad washing is a term that I've basically just come up with in the last 5 seconds. That basically means that any unique NPC they had in Mario RPG games, they're basically
just cram into a toad.
Well, even the unique toads are just generic. They're turned into generic toads.
That's terrible.
It is pretty. I mean, they did it all over the place in Superstar Saga, and I haven't really seen. I haven't talked to anybody that still plays their 3DS that much that had gotten that version of the game that made me go, "This one's concretely better." This one fixed a lot of the stuff that was broken in the Game Boy Advance one, because I think I only played the GBA one once. It's a pretty short RPG, and so I never got the vibe that it was bad. Or good enough. It wasn't oh my gosh, this remake is so good compared to the original. So it's kind of cool that you can basically play every single Paper Mario, or sorry, not Paper Mario, but every single Mario RPG, like Mario and Luigi RPG, on the 3DS now, because they've remade Superstar Saga. They're remaking Bowser's Inside Story, and I think that just leaves one more DS one that got skipped over. Cause I think Bowser's Inside Story is number 3, if I'm not mistaken. So
that's correct. I'm trying to remember what the last one is.
There's another DS one, and I don't know. Is that Partners in Time? Is that a DS?
I don't remember. I don't remember off the top of my head. I never actually played any of them. I just know they were fun. That's
times. Okay, so moving on to Switch then, since we don't need to dwell on 3DS forever. 3DS is it's in the Direct. It's probably going to be
dwelt on 3DS forever enough.
Yeah. So it'd be kind of cool if we got some more footage of Daemon X Machina.
I want that so bad because I'm a sucker for mecha.
I know you are.
I'm so glad that they got extra gameplay footage out there.
At Gamescom, I think.
Yeah, it was Gamescom, showing off the non-mecha combat and then showing off some actual mecha combat as well.
Yeah,
it was delightful, and I am incredibly excited for that game. The mech designs look great,
and that's gonna be exclusive, right? Like that's a just Nintendo game.
So, yes,
nice.
It's delightful, and I can't wait to see what else they show. Even if it's just like another trailer for it, explaining a little bit more about it.
Right.
Like, I want that.
I believe Yoshi is going to get a title. That was announced at E3 last year, and it got delayed to next year.
Right.
On the Nintendo website.
I know they were done with like the yarn theme. Weren't they going for something else with it?
Papercraft. And that's the next thing is that on the Nintendo, like the official,
going back to Yoshi roots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, my friend Josh is probably free now. Oh no, that's fine. It's okay. He can come in at a different time. It's fine, Mark. So on the official Nintendo website, it got leaked. Like not leaked, but like they on the here's more games you might be interested in. It said on the Nintendo website that it's called Yoshi's Crafted World. You can join our Discord call. We are still talking direct if you want to. Okay. Yeah, the other friend of mine, Josh, who is also
calling in another guest to join. I was trying to come up
plug
with
my mic because
couldn't pull it off right.
Something's going on with the cord. Like, I think my USB is fucked. So, anywho's, let's see here. So I guess I'm gonna just sit for a hot second and see if he's able to jump in. Otherwise, so Yoshi's Crafted World is the name of that game. That's cool. He's not feeling up for it. So Yoshi's Crafted World is the name of the game. It is being made by Good Feel, which is the same company that also made Kirby's Epic Yarn, which also made Yoshi's Woolly World. And the thing is Yoshi's Woolly World was a very, very good Yoshi game. If we're talking mechanically speaking, that was definitely a return to roots, especially for those who played Yoshi's New Island on 3DS and really hated it. Yoshi's Woolly World was really good.
Yes.
Decently hard.
And also, I don't know if there's a cuter Yoshi game out there.
No, there is not. It's really cute. It's really, especially the third one added Poochie stuff. So it only got cuter. I guess that's the other prediction I have for Switch talk is I'm expecting some sort of Wii U port to get announced. The rumor mills have said it's going to be some sort of new Super Mario Bros. Collection.
Okay, I can see that. I kind of hope it's not, just because I feel like there's better stuff they could choose.
It is a slowly diminishing list of super good Wii U titles to put on Switch.
Right.
I feel like the only thing they have left, off the top of my head that I can think of, the 2 Zelda HD ports. Which, the thing is the Joy-Con is perfectly capable of everything the Wii Motion Plus was capable of, so I would be zero surprised if at some point during the Switch's lifetime we get a Skyward Sword HD.
It would make sense.
Oh God,
I feel like it would be a sensible thing to do.
Could you imagine a Skyward Sword HD except they fix Fi? They just make her talk less.
That'd be amazing.
If they just had a little less, they made the menus open up a little bit less and had a little less hand holding, just make the definitive version of that game. I
take that back. It's not all you got to do, but it's a big step forward.
Barry from Game Grumps did a video on what could be done in the overworld that could be improved for Skyward Sword. But so the Zelda remakes have not been ported yet. Fire Emblem X.
There is a 97.3% chance that making Fi talk less would make the game better.
It's Fi, my dude. It is definitely Fi. Hyrule Warriors confirmed it as Fi.
I just don't care.
So Fire Emblem and Tokyo Mirage Sessions, the Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem game.
Yeah, I feel like that could. I feel like that could have a much wider audience on the Switch as well.
Well, I you know what? Actually, I seem to recall Atlas when they first announced the Switch. Atlas had a trailer for a Shin Megami Tensei game for Switch. Like I remember seeing like all of the all of the like not personas, but like the demons, like gathering around.
Do you think that's something that could be coming up?
Probably
direct. 20. Or do you think they're going to push it off a little bit?
I don't think it's this direct. But that actually just going back to 3DS. I hope that we get an English or an American release date for freaking Persona Q2.
That'd be nice.
Because we haven't gotten any English footage of that game yet, so that'd be great to get some localization news about that. Because that's going to be a big, not a big heavy hitter because it's just Etrian Odyssey, but like the Atlas's support for the 3DS is really good for some reason. I would love a Persona port. I would love Persona ports on Switch.
I mean, as much love as they put into their localization stuff, like, yeah.
Like, it would just be like Persona 5, if that ever gets ported off of Sony, like, I will be buying that.
As that is, it would be amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Like, I honestly, I'm expecting that Persona 1 or 2 is going to get ported before Persona 3, 4, or 5 does. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure if Sony has exclusive, because they don't have exclusivity on Shin Megami Tensei because those come out on 3DS. But I wonder.
Right. Well, as far as I understood, that it was SMT was Nintendo, and then Sony gets Persona.
That is
Sony,
possible,
as it were.
But you know what? If that SMT game that comes out on Switch is like as good for SMT as Persona 5 was for Persona, then I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be a this direct
with another game as good as Persona 5. But yeah, that's true. We are discussing Nintendo Direct here, and it might not even appear. It seems likely that it will not.
I think that might be something that we see next April, maybe, or next January. Like that might I think that might be a 2019 game. I think if we were going to hear anything about that new Shin Megami Tensei game, that probably would have been E3 for it. Honestly, like that would have been the time.
That seems about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's think. What else? Switch going. We might get more trailer fodder for Fire Emblem, although I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think because. So there's also like been speculation that there's going to be another Mario Kart 8 DLC, which would be so good. I love the Mario Kart 8 DLC, and I would love some more. Like, just give me Birdo, please, in Mario Kart. Thanks. Just give me Birdo. Like. We're probably going to get a Super Mario Party trailer of some sort. I can probably guess at that just because I heard recently there was some trailer that dropped in Japan that basically like said, hey, here's the whole cast of Mario Party that's coming out.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems likely that or jumping back to Mario Kart real quick, sorry, I won't say it seems likely, but it does not seem unlikely that we won't be seeing something from Mario Kart because Nintendo seems to be pretty good about supporting their properties lately, especially with just ongoing content.
Well, and that's the thing is like, so Pokken Tournament got some DLC, and I really like it was kind of expensive for what it was. Honestly, it was like $15. Yeah. And I only got 2 fighters out of it. I mean, there was also like 4 support sets that got added to it too, but still, I don't think that was enough for $15.
No,
but like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is probably one of the Switch's best-selling titles, and so since it has such a good attach rate to the Switch, it just makes sense that they would do like oh, you know what? Right. We know it's been a year. Actually, that game came out last April. So it's been like a year and a half. So, I mean, like, it's still not too... I feel like there are people who are still picking up Mario Kart with their Switches that would enjoy some new DLC for that game. So...
Well, even beyond that, there's a phrase that we were able to say last year that I never thought would leave my fucking mouth, which is mainline Legend of Zelda DLC. what the fuck?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the fact that that exists at all suggests to me that like, yeah, they're going to be moving in that direction, because whether or not Nintendo moves first in a direction, like they end up seeing what a good move is, and
Yeah.
industry wide DLC has been seen to be a very lucrative move.
Well, and see, that's the thing with Nintendo that I like about them is, in general, I feel like they don't go out of their way to imitate. They go out their way to like, what can we do to make this interesting? And so I almost feel like they value making a sequel, like putting development time into making a sequel over putting development time into making downloadable content. Which is why a lot of their games have gone by the wayside like that. But like with the Wii U, and especially now with the Switch, there's been a lot of DLC. It's gonna be weird to see. I wonder what the drop off for Splatoon 2 is going to be. Honestly, when they start the online
That's
service.
a good question. Yeah.
I also,
when you got to start paying, that's
I mean, granted, for $35, they have a family bundle where you can connect 8 Switches for the full
that's
year.
Good.
For $35.
Because the most you're getting for any of the others is 2 for $60.
Yeah. Okay, so like
60 minimum. I'm sorry.
You know, like consider that their online service is going to be way cheaper.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, right? It's going to be cheap. Hopefully it's like better than what their free version is, because if it's paid and it's the same, then there's a problem, you know? Like, so if the online does not improve, and especially if the online is not good for Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I feel like... no, never mind. I'm not... I was going to say something. No, that ain't going to happen. I was going to say, if Nintendo can guarantee that their online system works well, but given the past with the dreaded friend code, like that's I can't guarantee anything.
Yeah.
Granted, I would. I don't want to jinx anything, but
yeah.
I don't believe they'd put a friend code or anything in there that you'd have to use.
I mean, the Switch.
I feel like that's so archaic.
The Switch itself has a friend code. Like the console itself has a friend code that you add to other people, but you can also look up by Nintendo account. You can also look up by if you know them on Twitter or Facebook, etc. So like, or if you were friends with them on any of the mobile Nintendo apps too.
And that would be my biggest concern, was if the friend code was the only way to do it.
No. And it's not like they have the online plus requiring you to have a friend code for like a lobby or something. Like you can jump in with friends currently. Okay, so I guess that's pretty much all the Switch stuff I wanted to talk about. I can't think of anything else. So I'm expecting a Wii U port of something. I'm really like, I don't think this is going to be the Direct where they show off a brand new game they have not shown off yet. Like Metroid footage would be great, but like for anybody who's out there thinking that we're gonna get a reveal for like Pikmin 4.
Yeah,
or Animal Crossing. Like I think anybody who wants Animal Crossing is just it's not your time yet, child. You will get your time. They will make an Animal Crossing for Switch. Just hold on. Like I guarantee you that is going to be a game that comes out next spring, 2019.
I'm going to say again real quick. As I said before, not likely, but not unlikely. I agree that I don't think we'll see anything like brand spanking new, but even just like a touch for Metroid Prime 4 or something like that, something that they have announced, or at least like that there is rampant speculation and like, hey, we know you guys are doing this right now, or there's been some word on it. I'm brain farting on what that might be. I feel like that is something that can pop up.
And my craziest prediction, like my it's never going to happen prediction, is I would love to hear something about Mother. I would love to hear something about Mother 3.
Who on earth who knows about Mother would want to hear something about it?
Well, see, that's the thing with Mother 3 is I don't think it's ever going to get ported, especially with like the climate that we have currently just in the United States, period. Like there are people who think that they want that game, and I do not think that people are ready for that game, to be honest.
Right.
Like
I can understand that completely. No, sorry, keep going. Keep going. I just need to keep this in mind.
Oh, okay. Well, you can go ahead because I didn't have anything else to add to that. That was it.
Oh, all right then. Did they ever talk about what the mosaicked out Smash mode was going to be?
No, but that is a great segue to start talking about a possible Super Smash Bros. Ultimate reveal. Wow.
See, because I feel like that, like, I feel like it seems well timed and reasonable that they would say, okay, we teased this last time, now we'll tell you what it is. And if they don't tell us this time, I predict they won't tell us what it is until release or until like the direct directly before it.
See, that's what I was gonna say. Is I think the only thing we're gonna get out of this direct is an E3 is a character reveal trailer, and maybe just one.
Which is still big ass news because who isn't hyped for a new Smash character?
The only way I can see them announcing more than one character if they decide to also announce some Echo Fighters too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. Like the thing is, the reason why I don't think that the mode is going to be talked about is I think they're going to do a very specific Smash Brothers Direct again in October or November before, because like the game comes out December 7th. So excuse me. So I really anticipate like a direct, like another, like they're going to be drip feeding Smash news every month. We're going to get something like big every month, whether it's a character reveal or it's like a Smash Direct or, so I feel like that it may not be time for that mode yet. Like it might be just like, hey, you know, we wanted to focus on the rest of Nintendo and not just Super Smash Brothers because I have a feeling
want to save that crack in the dam for right before it's all going to burst.
Well, I feel like the reason why they put off, like the reason they're doing a Nintendo Direct in September so early, because like normally, like I feel like we've gotten a Direct over the past few Septembers, but it's not normally as long as this one. I feel like they're trying to make up for E3. Like what was great is that Smash Direct that we had last month totally eliminated anybody's doubts about Smash.
Right.
Being new.
Exactly.
Like that finally just shattered the opinion that it was just a port or something.
Yeah.
Plus, since they put out like screenshots and pictures of like every stage, and you can go and like, if you look at even just the Wii U comparison, it's freaking nuts how much more detailed Smash Ultimate's engine is compared to Smash.
Oh, absolutely. It's bonkers.
4. Okay, so, but given that said, so you think we might hear about this new mode then on Thursday, or if it's Thursday, I don't know when it's going to be.
Now, if we don't hear about it now, it's going to be in November, and I'm completely discounting October Direct just because it feels like, hey, we got a Direct last month, we got a Direct this month. I feel like October would be like pushing it.
So far we've had a the thing that's different about this Smash Brothers game that's different from the Wii U version is from announcement to launch, the Wii U version of Smash had a whole year and a half before it came out. So Smash Ultimate was announced in March of this year as a 2018 game, and it was dated.
Wait, hold on. I'm having, my audio is going a little crazy. All right, say it again.
Okay, so I had to unplug and replug my microphone real quick because it's being nuts. I think I need to replace the USB cable for it. So the reason why I think they're kind of trying to do some news like once a month is because they have less time to build up hype for it. So like they had a whole year and a half to get to like drip feed news about Smash 4, but for Ultimate they only had like 6 months. So like the only month we haven't had a Direct so far has been July.
See, I'm just wondering if Nintendo understands that. You don't need to build hype that much.
Oh, I'm sure they perfectly understand that. I mean, like they could have.
I feel like stopping and letting it build, and then having that like last bang would be the way to do it.
Well, and see, and that's why it's like they have a bang once a month. Because if you think about it too, like they didn't have any news in July, but that's because they had a direct in mid-June, and it was the beginning of August, so it was barely a month that we had to wait for more news.
Right.
And then here's another month that here's some more news, and it would have actually been less than a month had it aired when it was supposed to air. Not that I really think that Smash is going to be a huge focus for this direct, but
no, I agree.
So I guess with that said, who do you think is possible for an upcoming reveal?
Fuck, I got nothing. Like I have so many like wild predictions I want to be true that my heart is pulling my brain in like 50 directions, and I'm not going to be able to choose properly.
Well, I'll tell you what the various leaks have said.
Okay. And I feel like with that information, I'll be able to like make an educated guess.
Huge 1,000,000% giant grains of salt here.
Yeah. Right.
Like, because really
entire salt mines.
None of these things have validity. Yeah, even for the people who've quote unquote called stuff
never
right.
Had and never will have.
Yeah, like my thing is that so people have been speculating about Skull Kid because of the various decorations of the couch behind Sakurai from the last direct, which,
I remember you mentioning that.
Has some credence.
That's fascinating.
In the Charizard / Greninja reveal trailer for Smash 4, there was totally a cloud that was shaped like Pac-Man in the direct, so like it hinted at another character in a previous direct. So like if he's dropping hints, then sure. People have been also speculating about Isaac mostly.
Which would be neat.
Oh my god. You know, honestly, I would love Isaac to get in, but I only want Isaac to get in because I want Felix to be his Echo Fighter. Like, I love Isaac. I loved Golden Sun, the original game, but the Lost Ages was where it was at. Like, Felix is such, like, just, he was my first character, like, idol. Like, he was the first character that I was like, man, this character is, like, the coolest character I've ever seen. So, like, I would love Felix, and I would love for his final smash to be Megiddo.
That would be really cool.
Which is a move from the Soul Blade that he gets at the very end of the game. It's like his ultimate move from that game with the sword.
Yeah.
So that'd be great.
It could also be whatever this last new Pokemon is, because they introduce one every time.
Yes. There's been a lot of talk about Incineroar being the Pokemon, which I would be okay with personally.
Yes. I feel like it would be a good fit.
I've also seen leaks to suggest Golisopod.
Golisopod, which one is that?
One of the coolest fucking Pokemon ever. Golisopod is very much like it's the Gen 7 equivalent of Magikarp and Gyarados.
Okay.
Wimpod is like as the name infers, a wimpy isopod.
Okay, I remember. Yeah.
And Golisopod is a Goliath isopod.
Yeah, that's the one with the cool red shell. Yeah.
I think the shiny version's red. It's purple and like blue.
Okay. Yes. I see what you're saying.
It's like a samurai isopod. Like it would be cool. Like because it would be a heavy Pokemon like Charizard, but like a brawler type. So I'd be okay with either of those, and they would be perfect Gen 7. Especially, there are a lot of people who are thinking that every character reveal is going to be a bad guy for some reason, just because there's been a pattern of a couple of bad guy characters getting in. They're like, oh, there's totally this theme about bad guys, and it's like, no, I think it's just a coincidence that K. Rool and Ridley just both happen to be bad guys that were much desired.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Yeah.
I don't think there's a pattern or a rule to this, you know.
Right.
And then let's see here. So Pokemon, and then people have also been clamoring and chomping at the bit for Banjo and Kazooie.
Yes, but I feel like they're too far gone. Like K. Rool was.
Cloud is in the game, though, Lucas. Banjo and Kazooie are entirely plausible. Everyone
it's just a matter of how much Microsoft has killed them for me.
everyone is
the
plausible.
Square Enix and Sony both still understand that, like, oh, in case of emergency, we can break glass for cloud.
Well,
Microsoft.
But you know what's funny is when Sakurai went to Nakamura or whoever it was in Square Enix, when they went to Square Enix, he was like, okay, we want to do a Final Fantasy character, we want to do Cloud, or we want to do Terra, or we want to do Bartz. Like, we want to do one of those three characters. Like, Terra and Bartz were actually also considered for the Final Fantasy representation.
Yeah.
Which it'd be kind of cool if they could get Terra in there.
That would be neat.
Because since Final Fantasy VI's origins on the SNES, like, that'd be super great. But like, you know, but he ultimately decided Cloud because he felt like Cloud would be more a better rep. Like, people would recognize Cloud more, which isn't false.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they had like added Locke or something, people have been like, who the fuck is this guy?
I feel like the next choice would be Terra.
I think so too. I mean, Terra or Noctis, I guess. Because 15 did so well. But I mean, like, Noctis isn't Tekken.
Right, but Noctis, yeah. Alongside our good buddy Negan.
Yeah, right. That's so weird to me. But I mean, plausible. It makes sense. I feel like Negan would have been a better fit for Mortal Kombat, though, or a Walking Dead character. Period would have been a better fit for Walking Dead, for Mortal Kombat, just in general.
Yeah.
So the next thing that people, so Shadow as an Echo Fighter, that's another thing.
Easy call there.
Yeah, I mean, like, he has not been shown off as an assist trophy yet, so people are like, maybe Shadow. Isabel as well. Isabel, people are thinking Isabel will be a villager Echo, which I think would be hilarious, but I don't know. I don't know what I think about that one. I think it'd be really cute. But see, here's my thing. Like, because I'm also considering, like, whoever we get fighters for, we're gonna get amiibo of, and like, I have 2 Isabel amiibos already. I'm already upset that I have to pick up a second Crom amiibo. Like,
that's something that I have failed to consider, just because, like, amiibo aren't a thing for me, really.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're not a thing for many people. I'm crazy. I'm nuts, you know? Like,
right, but the marketing potential of an amiibo and the fact that they still have to manufacture it.
That's why I really want a Banjo-Kazooie one. I really want a little statue of Banjo-Kazooie. That's not like the full-ass $400 statue that they have, that they're coming out with soon.
Right, but that manufacturing constraint, and that are people even going to buy this amiibo, necessarily factor into whether or not a character is going to be in the game.
I don't think that's a factor. I think that's a second thought, honestly. I mean, like, they obviously want a character to be recognizable, but that's not always the case, because sometimes, see, that's the thing with Isaac. It's like, I would love for them to, like, reveal a Golden Sun, like, either a sequel or a port of all of the Golden Suns to Switch. And, like, we're putting Isaac and Felix in Smash, by the way. You know?
Right.
Which, although, you know what will piss me off, though, is if they do Isaac and then Matthew. I would die. I would be so upset. Like, there's not many things about Smash that would get me upset. That would get me upset.
Jimmy's rustled.
Extremely. I'm trying to think of who else I've seen. Oh, Gino, of course people want Gino.
But Gino's been wanted since Melee.
I think it's his time. I feel like it's time for him. I don't know.
It would be really nice.
I mean, the thing is with Ridley and K. Rool getting in, I feel like Gino is a natural extension from that.
I guess, yeah. Like, harkening back to old Nintendo, particularly.
Yeah. There are people who I've seen some people go, I don't even know why people want this character. It's like, well, because Sakurai has talked about putting him in the past, and he's a cool character from that game. People like Mario RPG.
So many cool things. It's like, if you really wanted to mess with his inputs and make him like a weird character, like, you could do the action inputs or whatever it was, where if you can time some of your attacks and inputs just right, that they're more powerful. or
Yeah.
they have some other effect, as in Mario RPG, which would be wonderful and add another layer to playing a character.
And and here's the thing about Smash period. So I am definitely expecting them to be doing DLC for this game too.
Oh, of course they are. I mean, it's like I mentioned earlier. They realized, or they finally, they gave a mainline Legend of Zelda DLC. Like, I feel like there's an understanding that, oh, this is something we should be doing now.
Well, and they gave Smash 4 DLC.
Exactly.
So, it's entirely plausible. I think the other characters that I've seen buzz for are Bandana Waddle Dee, which I am neutral towards. I would not be upset if he were put in, but I do not care if he is in or out. I've seen people
personally would be hype as fuck for Bandana Waddle Dee. I would be super down for that. That'd be adorable.
And then I've also seen people clamoring for Shantae really bad, and I just don't care about Shantae.
That's fair.
They're like, look, so here's the thing. So Shovel Knight is in as an assist trophy, which was so out of no.
Yacht Club. Like, holy crap, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't expect that at all. And so
I don't think anyone I feel expected it.
Now, granted,
told,
did Shantae technically start as a Game Boy Color game? Sure. But it's not like Way Forward has worked with Nintendo the same way that Yacht Club Games has with Nintendo.
Right.
Shovel Knight Treasure Trove was a Switch exclusive, and Spectre Knight was exclusive on the Switch for a whole month. And I'm also deep voice again. Hold on.
I noticed, but I was like, let's just let this rock and see until he figures it.
This is gonna be really interesting to listen to after it's all said and done. I think maybe next time we need to just get you over here in person to use the actual microphones instead of doing it this way. But it's all trial and error. Some people I don't. Some people I'm not local to. Like you. So okay. So, I really should have turned my ringer off. I am so sorry.
Every time's a charm.
I know, right? God. Let's see here. Who else? Bandana Waddle Dee, Shantae. If Shantae was an assist trophy, I'd be okay with that. She doesn't need to be a playable character. I just don't like. Unless they make Dixie Kong her freaking Echo.
That would be acceptable to me, I think. Well, I think that'd be perfectly reasonable. In which case, I think it would be Dixie and then Shantae as the Echo.
Nah. Well, see, here's the thing: is that's the other thing about Echo Fighters. So the first thing about Echo Fighters was, okay, Echo Fighters exist, right? They exist now, and there's certain properties about regular characters that makes them not Echo Fighters. But here's the thing about Echo Fighters. At first, we did not know for sure if third-party characters would be eligible to get an Echo Fighter. But then Simon comes along with Richter, and it's like, okay, so third-party characters can get Echo Fighters. But so far, every Echo Fighter has been in the same series as the character that it's echoing.
True.
So Daisy, Peach, Pit, Dark Pit, Marth, Lucina, Simon, Richter. So, it would have to take them announcing a new character to make me think that others would be possible. But for now, I'm thinking that only characters in the same series can be Echoes. Yeah. Let me think here. Who else? Who else have I seen buzz for? I've seen a lot of buzz. The Chorus Kids and Karate Joe, I've also seen buzz for. I like Rhythm Heaven. I think it'd be interesting. The two things that I would love to see is I would maybe love to see a Tetris assist trophy or a Puyo Puyo assist trophy.
That would be neat.
Because, Smash is basically a love letter to all video games, and I'm going to get to another character that people want
right
in a second regards to that. And I've talked to you about it before, so you already know where I'm going probably. But having a rhythm game character, whether it be the Taiko drums or Rhythm Heaven characters, Chorus Kids have been considered in another Smash game before, so people are thinking, oh, maybe now's the time.
Fix a microphone again. Hold on.
was wondering what happened.
Like the incorrect USB cable. Like I'm not using the USB cable that came with this microphone, and so every little thing that it picks, like for some reason, it's like dropping my pitch sometimes. So it's just gonna be interesting to listen to podcasts where like suddenly I turn like deep and sexy for no reason. So Goku.
So be it.
So Goku needs to fuck off. Anybody who wants Goku,
Yeah,
you are more delusional than the people who want Waluigi. You are delusional. Like I know I'm like, how could you say something so brave yet so controversial? But like, you know what? There is a game called Dragon Ball Fighters that has 6 Gokus in it. You can play that game if you want Gokus. Like, Smash is not a love letter to Japanese media. It's a love letter to video games. I mean, like in the Smash ballot, there was a pretty precedent there saying the character needs to have originated from a video game to be considered, you know. So like They throw out the Gokus, they throw out the Shreks. Like if Goku gets added to this, I think I'd be like, oh, come on. And there are people who are like, well, but Cloud got added. I was like, yes, but Cloud's a video game character. And not only that, but he's a video game character from a series that has been on Nintendo. Like even if Cloud has not been on Nintendo before, certainly Final Fantasy has, and Square Enix has history with Nintendo. You know, like if they added
chemistry there.
If they added Sora, which they're not going to, because not only do they have to go through Square Enix for Sora, but they probably also have to go through Disney.
Right, and that's a big like thing to ask.
I wonder though. I wonder if someone like Neku from World Ends With You, or if like the Kingdom Hearts version of Cloud would be possible as a costume, just because Tetsuya Nomura probably owns those rights and not Disney. Well, certainly Disney doesn't own The World Ends With You, but as far as like the Cloud Kingdom Hearts costume goes,
yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea who like owns the rights for Kingdom Hearts and whether or not, like, because I feel like if Disney's involved for that, then that's going to be impossible.
Right.
But I guess so that's all the character buzz. I don't know who's going to get announced. And I know whoever is going to get announced, as long as it's not Goku, I will be fine. That's basically, because at this point, like Simon and Bayonetta both were characters that I voted for on the ballot.
Yeah.
And at Shovel Knight, I think. So like, but Simon was the one who I was like, man, if they could get Simon Belmont, and like Castlevania has such a big thing to classic Nintendo, that'd be such a good representation in Smash.
Right.
And, you know, with his whip and his sub weapons, it just made too much sense. So the fact that he's in there.
Hit Smash before Simon.
Who?
Ice Climbers.
Well, but the thing is Simon was owned by Konami at that point. So, and like in Melee, they didn't have third party characters. Which that's what gives me hope for Banjo-Kazooie, is like if frickin' they can get Konami off their butt to get them Snake and Bomberman, you know, and Simon and Richter. Like I don't think it's that much of a stretch to go to. But the problem with getting Banjo-Kazooie is that Microsoft is not just a publishing game studio; they are a competitor.
Right.
So
and I think even beyond that, like, they just have so much disregard for any property that is not like directly first party for them.
Well, and see, here's the other problem: is publicly Phil Spencer has given his blessing for them to use Banjo-Kazooie, but like, you know, who knows if that's like, just what they're saying.
One man.
I mean, like, if he's being truthful and honest about it, you know, it's like
I don't give Microsoft a lot of credibility as far as like truth and honesty, since Scalebound. I'm particularly butthurt by that.
That's fair. That's fair. It would have been so great if Nintendo had swooped up Scalebound just like they did Bayonetta 2.
It would have been amazing, but I could also see just like way too much licensing difficulty.
Although, you know what's funny? Similarly to Bayonetta 2, Nintendo was also, like, similarly to how Microsoft and Sony were to Bayonetta 2, Nintendo and Microsoft were to Yakuza. Which is why the Yakuza guy just does not particularly care for Nintendo that much. It's like, I don't think it's the platform for Yakuza. I'm like, I think you're crazy, Yakuza guy. But, like,
Speaking of which, I want to talk about Judge Eyes, but that's not Nintendo, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, we can. That can be something that we talk about in another video. Because I might start like doing these like weekly. Honestly, so with all that Smash speculation being said, I think we're gonna at least get a character trailer. They might talk about game modes. I mean, they could also just talk about like, hey, so we have this one game mode, but we also want to talk to you about these mini games that we're bringing back, like break the targets and board the platforms and all that other fun stuff that you missed. And instead of doing it like Brawl, we're going to do it like Super Smash Bros. 64. And we're going to do it like unique for every character. I think Melee also had unique stages for every character.
Yeah, because there was one for Young Link.
For break the targets. Which were essentially just tutorials on how to use the various characters. So,
right, it was wonderful.
Yeah, but so I think we're getting a reveal of that some sort. I don't really know. I feel like any of those characters that I mentioned today, with the exception of like Goku, none of those would make me upset if any of them got in. Like, I feel like the people who want Shantae really hard are a little delusional, because I feel like at this point she's more of an indie character than she is a Nintendo character. Although I heard something about Sakurai going and talking to WayForward about something. Maybe. But I don't know. I just feel like WayForward has not given Nintendo the same attention that Yacht Club did. And so for Shantae to be included, the thing is, it's just like, I don't know. I think people mostly want her because she's a waifu, and that's really it.
I can see that.
There was someone I saw who thought a Persona character might get in. I was like, are you freaking nuts, dude? Like, wow. Maybe okay. I got nothing. Is a Shin Megami Tensei character plausible? Sure. Weird. That would be out of nowhere. I actually like. What if it's just fucking Jack Frost? As calling it now, Jack Frost is going to be the Atlas rep. Actually, you know what? Jack Frost would be a perfect assist trophy, though.
I was about to say, like, come on, there's the obvious answer there.
Yeah. No, he'd be a really good assist trophy. I think I need to have like a separate discussion for just Smash Brothers, because I have a lot of thoughts about characters who'd be really good assist trophies. That we can just save for this discussion, because this basically kind of concludes our thoughts.
Yeah.
I think
basically.
Nicely. So, yeah. Well, Lucas, thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Not a problem. It was my pleasure. It's always fun to speculate about
very fun
bullshit.
Yeah, and you know, and God, I really wish I had a like link for donations for stuff regarding the Japanese earthquake that happened last week in Hokkaido.
I know. I wanted to mention that at the beginning, but I also didn't want to like seem like I was shoehorning something in. I don't know why I would feel that way.
No, it's okay. I thought about it myself. You know what? If I'm going to research it real quick. I don't have it on the top of my head right now, but if I do find something, I will be linking it just as like the top comment on the YouTube page. So, you know, because obviously, like, while I'm happy that they postponed the direct because it gave me time to have this discussion with somebody, because last time it was like
because of no reason.
Well, yeah, just because, like, in general, I care a lot more about what happens to real people than to what, like, when I get my Nintendo news, because Nintendo news can come anytime and I'll always be happy with it. So,
precisely.
Well, with all that said, thank you, Lucas, so much, and I hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for watching this live, if you watched it live, and hope you enjoyed my random deep voice.
Good night, everybody.
All right, bye-bye.